What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And I have big news for you guys. Barcelona want to move on Coutinho, either sell him or loan him, and Liverpool are interested in taking him on a one-year loan. Jurgen Klopp feels that Liverpool need more firepower up front, especially after last night's game against Everton. It was pretty clear that Liverpool were pretty toothless going forward, and I think one of the reasons is that Salah was not in the team, and when Liverpool miss one of the front three and we can't replace him with a similar quality. I mean, don't get me wrong, Minamino is a great player, but he's not a Salah, he's not a Sadio Mane, he's not even a Roberto Firmino, he's not on that level. Let me know, would you take him on loan at Liverpool? Because Jurgen Klopp, I think, desperately needs him or somebody like him who can unlock a really tight defense. I mean, last night's game against Everton was the perfect example of why Liverpool need Philippe Coutinho, because when Salah was on the bench, it was pretty clear that Liverpool weren't as potent and weren't as effective going forward, and we need a player like Coutinho who can unlock a defense. Philippe Coutinho's agent came out and said that he wants to return to the Premier League, Coutinho, and he still has Liverpool in his heart. It would be very difficult for Coutinho to play for any other club apart from Liverpool in the Premier League, because he is still a Liverpool fan. He still has very good feelings about Liverpool as a football club, and also Liverpool need Coutinho, in my opinion. And also, John Aldridge says that Liverpool should be doing all that they can to reach a loan agreement with Barcelona for Philippe Coutinho. And in this video we will also talk about Jurgen Klopp's comments saying that Liverpool got a little bit lucky against Everton by getting a point, because Everton could have won it in the end. So more on that later in this video. John Aldridge said that it makes sense for all parties to get a short-term one-year loan deal for Coutinho. This is what John Aldridge, a former Liverpool player and Liverpool legend, said. I think Liverpool should do all they can to bring Coutinho back to Anfield. I know there will be some fans out there who might be surprised by my call for Liverpool's owners to hand Coutinho a route back to Anfield, but let me explain why I think this transfer could work for all parties. And when John Aldridge says this, you need to listen to this. Despite his troubles in Spain, we are talking about a world-class player here who lit up the Premier League. He was a big hero of the Anfield faithful during his time at Liverpool. He understands how English football works and would not need long to acclimatize himself if he returns to Liverpool. Crucially, this loan move could be funded within the tight financial boundaries Jurgen Klopp is working with this summer. And John Aldridge also said that Jurgen Klopp, having already passed up the chance to sign Timo Werner, his options are limited. Liverpool's decision to pull out of the deal to sign Werner confirmed that they are short of cash after the pandemic ripped a hole on football's finances. But a one-year deal for Coutinho should be affordable. Coutinho didn't handle his exit from Liverpool as well as he should have probably, and he could have done, with his eagerness to complete what he saw as a dream move to Barcelona. Seeing him pull a few tricks to get out of the club, that left a nasty taste in the mouth. But we are heading into this summer with Liverpool openly admitting they can't afford to sign top players on permanent transfers. They could have a chance to get around that by getting Coutinho in on loan. Liverpool can't afford to stand still and allow their opponents to close the gap they have opened up on the opposition in the Premier League. So that's why I say a deal to bring Coutinho back on loan would make sense for all parties. Oh my goodness, John Aldridge, yes! This is exactly what I was talking about for many months now. It makes sense to bring in Coutinho on loan just because of the financial aspect, and also he wouldn't need time to get used to a new league, a new country. He already knows what Liverpool are all about. He knows Jurgen Klopp, he knows many of his teammates already at Liverpool, and also he knows the city, he knows what it's like to play for Liverpool, what it's like to play in the Premier League. So straight away he comes in, he walks into the starting lineup and he can hit the ground running. I'm not saying that drop everybody to start Coutinho, but I think he would be the most creative midfielder in Liverpool's midfield, and he would probably displace either Naby Keita or Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I'm a huge fan of both players, but Naby Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain are just not regular goal scorers from midfield. Coutinho was a regular goal scorer from midfield in Liverpool's team, and yes, he played sometimes on the left wing as well, cutting inside. I don't think he will play in that position too often, but when Salah, Mane or Firmino are injured or rested, or they are off to the Africa Cup of Nations, then Coutinho could play on the left wing and we could make it work. The problem that Liverpool have is that Takumi Minamino is not a winger, Origi is not a winger, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is not a winger. They are not suited to playing on the wing. So Liverpool don't have many wingers, like true wingers at the club. Xherdan Shaqiri is one, but he's out injured as well, and also he doesn't have the pace to trouble that many Premier League defenses. And Neil Mellor, a former Liverpool striker who I was a quite big fan of when he scored that goal against Arsenal in the 92nd minute or something like that to beat Arsenal 2-1 at Anfield in the 2004-2005 season. That's the goal that he's famous for. And he's now working as a pundit, and he said this about Coutinho and Liverpool. Liverpool haven't missed Coutinho anywhere near as much as they expected to, which is a huge credit to the squad that was left behind. And also my comment, a huge credit goes to Jurgen Klopp, who could make it work, that Liverpool actually got a lot better without Coutinho. I mean, how many teams get so much better after losing their best player and most influential player, and how many squads get so much more quality and so much better that they win the Premier League, they win the Champions League. I mean, they go back-to-back Champions League finals. The ride that Jurgen Klopp has taken Liverpool on has been absolutely fantastic. And Mellor continued, it says everything about where Liverpool are, and that he's willing to come back, Coutinho, and he would walk away from Barcelona, where he has had a difficult time. It's a credit to the group that he wants to come back, and whilst he's an excellent player, he probably wants Liverpool more than Liverpool need Coutinho at the moment, which says everything about the situation. And Neil Mellor also commented on Liverpool being linked with players like Adama Traore, Kalidou Koulibaly, Jadon Sancho. He said, it's exciting to see Liverpool linked with those, because they are all excellent players. Koulibaly is one of the best centre-backs in the world. I think the club has shown they will back Jurgen Klopp, so if he really feels one of these players will improve the team and the squad, I would expect them to back him in the market this summer. You are talking big money for all of them, but with Van Dijk and Alisson, the club have proved they are willing to back the manager if he believes certain signings are critical. Liverpool's starting 11 is incredibly strong, so you are probably looking more at supplementing the squad than truly dislodging a starting 11 player. Timo Werner was linked with Liverpool for many months now, and he has now signed for Chelsea. Liverpool, with the exception of Van Dijk and Alisson, haven't spent massive amounts of money on transfer fees. If they are recruiting from a position as reigning Premier League champions, that is really powerful. If I was to pinpoint one area, it might be to get a bit of a backup in the final third, so they aren't always relying on Firmino, Mane and Salah. And also my comment, we absolutely desperately need a new left back. Andy Robertson was missing against Everton, James Milner got injured, and we had to play Joe Gomez, who is predominantly a centre-back, maybe a right-back, but definitely not a left-back, and we had to play Joe Gomez at left-back just to plug that gap. So I think that Liverpool need actually 2 or 3 signings in the summer to really be sure that we can compete next season on all fronts. Jordan Henderson said that Liverpool can play a lot better, and Liverpool actually disappointed in the Merseyside derby. Liverpool's captain was pretty honest after the game. I think we can be a lot better, of course, we know that, but there were still some positive things that I thought were good. We tried to adapt to the situation, but overall, obviously, we are disappointed because we wanted to come here and get the 3 points. But there are still plenty of positives. A clean sheet, and I thought we defended really well. We just lacked that last bit in the final third. The intensity was pretty good with the counter pressing, with the ball higher up the pitch. I thought that was good. We were unlucky with a couple of injuries, and hopefully they are not too bad overall. We just got to take it, move on, and try to be better in the next game. And Jamie Carragher also came out after the Merseyside derby saying that Salah's absence highlights Liverpool's big weakness, and Carragher wants Liverpool to make offensive signings after this Everton game. He wants us to sign an attacker in the summer transfer window, and I fully agree with him. I think we need an offensive transfer, and this is what Jamie Carragher, who is now Sky Sports pundit, said after the game. The front three are as good as anyone in Europe, but whenever one of them is out, there is a massive drop-off in quality. When Liverpool dropped points at Man United, Salah wasn't playing. That's why Liverpool need to strengthen the front three. Divock Origi is a legend for Liverpool as he scored big goals at big moments, but doesn't have quite the quality. Is Minamino part of the front three? Not for me. The front three are very robust, they don't miss many games, but if Liverpool were to lose one of them, especially the two white players, for a lengthy amount of time, they could have a real problem next season. Liverpool should sign at least one attacking player in the summer, and that's why I'm saying that the Coutinho loan deal makes perfect sense. Even Jurgen Klopp said Liverpool got lucky in the derby match against Everton, which I find fascinating. And when Everton hit the post, Jurgen Klopp said about that moment after the game, it came out of the blue. We were lucky in that moment, but apart from that, we were in control. We didn't have a lot of chances. Most of the time we were dominant with the ball, but they had the biggest chance, Everton. That's how it is. It was a real fight. Both teams showed that they understand it's a derby, even without a crowd. It was intense, physical, all in. You saw the derbies we had here before. They were never really better than this, I have to say. Each team is fighting like crazy, so in the end there is not a lot of football. There is space for improvement for us here at Goodison. I like football when it's slightly different, but that's how it is. We had a proper fight. It was intense and we were ready for that. The players were really in the game, so that's good. I really liked our defending. The high press, the midfield press, counter press was good. We won a lot of balls. Of course, we want to make more chances. We have to be more clear in situations, pass the ball, shoot in the right moment, more crosses. The second half we started to do that much better, but Everton defended really well. They tried to take care of Mane and Trent Alexander-Arnold, and we were not smart enough to use the space for somebody else. That's normal when you begin to play again, but a lot of things were very good. Now I know we are ready, because you don't know 100% if we did enough during the break, but we can involve fresh legs on Wednesday. So far so good, but I saw Crystal Palace yesterday and they looked a well-oiled machine, so it will be tough. And I pretty much agree with all the points that Jurgen Klopp made in this post-match interview. And also, Alisson was praised by Jurgen Klopp. He said that he has his status as one of the world's best goalkeepers, and Jurgen Klopp said this: it says a lot about Alisson, that save against Everton. We should not take him for granted. Absolutely outstanding goalkeeper. That's what a world-class goalie is. Nothing to do for 90 minutes pretty much, and then he's there to make a big save. So Milner has a slight hamstring injury. It's not a very serious one. He was taken off more as a precaution, but he will be missing the Crystal Palace game. And also Matip stabbed his big toe, or hurt his big toe, so he was in a lot of pain. That's why he got substituted, but thankfully that's not a serious injury, and I think he will be ready for the Crystal Palace game. And John Barnes, the former Liverpool player, came out with a pretty outrageous claim that one of the reasons why Jurgen Klopp didn't sign Werner was that he doesn't want Liverpool to become just a bunch of superstars as a team. I don't think that's the main reason, but it could be one of the reasons. I think that the Liverpool manager would have signed Werner if Liverpool had the funds to do that. But this is what John Barnes said. Well, once again, you are talking about the harmony within the team in Liverpool. You are talking about a world-class player like Timo Werner, who demands to play every week. And if he's not going to play every week, is that going to upset the spirit in the camp at Liverpool? I don't know if Werner was given assurances or he feels he can play for Chelsea every week rather than coming here. But you've got to be careful, and I know Jurgen doesn't like to have a big squad and lots of superstars in the team. Keeping them happy can be quite problematic, and we have seen every now and again, like in the Barcelona game when they didn't have Firmino or Salah, and Divock Origi can come in and do a job. But I think I more agree with Jamie Carragher that we can't rely on Divock Origi for a long periods of time. What if Salah, Mane or Firmino get a long injury, like 2 or 3 months? Then Liverpool will be in massive trouble, in my opinion. And Roy Keane came out with a very interesting statement about Liverpool and when this Liverpool side can be judged as a truly great Premier League side. I think they are already a truly great Premier League side. I mean, you don't get to 97 points and then next season to maybe 100 plus points. We shall wait and see how many points Liverpool will end up on, but we are very likely to end up on 100 plus points to break the all-time record. I mean, you don't get to a combined almost 200 points in 2 seasons without being a great team. But Roy Keane said this: "I'm certainly not anti-Liverpool. When I was growing up in the 80s, Liverpool were obviously a brilliant team and I had a lot of respect for players like Ronnie Whelan, Ray Houghton. I take my hat off to that Liverpool. They were a very, very good team. They were consistently and constantly winning league titles. People will always connect me with Manchester United, but I will never begrudge a team winning the league title. They deserve it, Liverpool. They have been outstanding over the last couple of seasons. The sign of any good team is to be consistent, and that's what they have been. So to win the title is amazing, fantastic achievement, but the important thing for any big club is to kick on. So how many titles can they win over the next 5, maybe 10 years? That's how I judge the really good teams. It's the same with players. I've seen players have 1 or 2 good seasons and they get a bit giddy, a bit excited, and before you know it, you don't hear about them anymore. That's actually a very interesting observation, and I agree with Roy Keane for this Liverpool side to be considered one of the best in the Premier League era. We need to win at least 1 more league title in the next 2 or 3 years, maybe even 2 league titles in the next 4 or 5 years. But right now it's undisputed. Liverpool are by far the best team that the Premier League has ever seen in 1 season. If you are talking about just 1 season, this Liverpool team is the most consistent with the highest win ratio. I mean, we won 90% of our games. Absolutely mind-blowing stuff. And finally, Jurgen Klopp also praised Naby Keita. This is what he said: "Naby Keita looked absolutely good against Everton. No, he looked good in training, and it's for sure the reason why he played today. That was the same. You have the opportunity, you have a real quality player on the pitch, on the bench as well. So you bring on Gini Wijnaldum in that situation. It's just you have to try. How can you deal with the quality and how can you deal with the intensity of the game? We play again in 3 days. Today, if I play 11 players for the 95 minutes and they all have to go like they had to go today, then I have a real problem on Wednesday. That's how it is. You cannot underestimate it after 4 weeks of preseason and 9 weeks break before that. So Jurgen Klopp maybe made substitutions that he wouldn't have made otherwise, especially like making substitutions at halftime and in the 65th minute. He subbed off a lot of players and just to keep them fresh for the Crystal Palace game. And I mean, if we beat Crystal Palace, then 4 points from these first 2 games, that's a good start for Liverpool, and we can go from there. Remember, we just need 5 more points to confirm the Premier League title. So hopefully Liverpool will be able to do it either in the Man City game or the game after that. I mean, really looking forward to the rest of the season. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you later. Goodbye.